Just a couple bad weather fans representing New York, talking all things sports. Man, what could go wrong? We got Alex, who's a fan of the Knicks, and Mike of the Nets. The yin-yang of the tri-state, place your bets on the Yankees, Giants, Mets, or Jets. Yeah, you should listen if they're sparking your interest. If you made a vow to your team, don't break it. Bad weather fans is the relation.
That's right. This is Bad Weather Fans, episode number 151. Mike Biseglia, Alex Benezowitz. The Brooklyn Nets 12-game winning streak comes to an end. They lose to the Chicago Bulls. While the New York Knicks, the streakiest team maybe in the league, they've won 3 straight after losing 5 straight, after winning 8 straight before that. And of course, the NBA All-Stars first return votes come in. 3 Nets on the list, 1 Knick on the list. Hey, being honest, Alex, how are you?
I'm good. You know, Derrick Rose's fan base is still alive, man. How about that? You know,
Kind of.
yeah, kind of,
Barely.
I guess. Yeah, out there somewhere. But yeah, no, man, I'm good. You know, another day, another dollar, and we're ready to do this. How are you?
I'm doing great. And, you know, disappointed to see the Nets 12-game winning streak come to an end. But, you know, I don't think they were going to win them all. Definitely.
I did. Yeah.
I definitely don't like losing. That was a good reminder of that. And of course, the way my mind goes, Alex, now I'm already looking at the schedule with the Pelicans, the Heat, the Celtics, and I already have them on a 4-game losing streak in my head.
Of course. I mean, that's just the pessimistic nature of fans in general, especially ones that never win championships. So
literally,
I get it.
Literally, I know you, your fan base, has the championships that you won. And I love hearing from all the people on Twitter that interact with the show, reminding me and telling me what it was like back in 1973. Because I know everybody that listens to the show was around, got to experience it.
Fun fact, though, Knicks are 4th all time in NBA Finals appearances. Did you know that?
Yes. And that was because there's a lot of finals appearances a long time ago.
The 1950s, yeah, even before they won their 2 championships. And then I think there was 3 back then. In the 50s, they lost them all. And then the 2, I don't know, whatever. I'm just, forget it. Yeah, there was a lot. Yeah, so they were good. Yeah, we don't have to do that. But because I think I'll get it right, but I don't want to get it wrong and be like, you idiot, you missed the 1 finals appearance in this 1 year. You know, so, you know, I can Google it and look smart if you want. But I'm not that smart.
So, you know, Nick, Julius Randle balling out right now, which is a hot topic for us and for Knick fans, of course. But
of course,
the NBA All-Star voting came in, and I thought this was interesting because Knicks and Net fans can jump on top of this. Kevin Durant leading the Eastern Conference front court. He's ahead of Giannis Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid, Tatum, Jimmy B. I thought it was interesting for the Nets. Nick Claxton, number 9, 160,000 votes. Excuse me, on the guard side. Kyrie Irving, 2 million votes. He's number 1. And the lone Nick on this at number 9, Derrick Rose with 220,000.
Number 2 for the guards is who? Say the name.
Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, man, big surprise there.
Donovan Mitchell. But, you know, that's a different conversation. Always, of course, you know, it's funny because I think there's a lot of data from that, but I think the most interesting thing from a net side, I don't think there's any surprise that Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are leading their respective spots. I do think it's not just the fact that, you know, they're 2 of the biggest superstars in the NBA. I know Kyrie was not on the top 75 list of all-time players, but, you know, you could make a real educated argument that he should be. Point is, you got 2 of the top 100 players ever, 2 of the best players in the league. You're going to get votes from all over the place, but also the Net fan base coming in strong as well. I want to give them credit for going in there. And I think that is proven by Nick Claxton being 9th. Nick is playing great. I mean, he's balling out. He's 2nd in the league in blocks, only behind Brook Lopez. His field goal percentage is at like 110%. He doesn't miss shots. And he's just playing great defense. And I shout out to Net fans for voting, and shout out to the rest of the league for recognizing that he's having, I don't know if he's an all-star, but he's having a pretty damn good season.
Yeah, it just shows. I mean, as much as Knicks fans don't want to admit it, and I don't want to admit it, well, I've come a long way since we started this podcast. I didn't want to admit that the Nets had fans coming, but I've come to realize they do, and they are gaining more fans, especially as they continue to have these superstars, and Knicks continue to, they're not the worst team anymore. They're just like in the middle. So like they're not like competing for anything. So like you saw it 2 years ago, how the fans from the Knicks like came out crazy after COVID and a lot of that stuff and everything. Knicks were back. And then last year was a mess. And now this year, everybody's like uninspired. I'll put it that way. So we're just kind of in the middle of the road, and the Nets, they have their ups and downs, obviously off the court, but like they're gaining fans. And Nick Claxton being number 9 and Julius Randle not being on the list at all in the early voting shows Nick fans are tired of Julius Randle. And people can say all they want about how I am a little too hard on him on Twitter at Nick Central, and how fans are, actually coming around. There was some random MVP chants at the Garden for him when he was at the line this week. And that's great. He's playing phenomenal, but he was not voted in the top 10. And the Knicks have one of the largest fan bases in the world. They're one of the largest fan bases in the world. I'm not just patting myself on the back here. They are. And for him not to be on the top 10 for the early voting shows that fans are not really behind him like some people want you to believe. And because of that, me and my receipts, I pulled up the data from old Shams tweets from the early voting. Last year, Julius Randle, not in the top 10 because fans were tired of him last year. Remember, he had the bad season, the shut the F up and the thumbs down and the throwing the laptop in the assistant coach's face. We've been through it a million times. Sure. But now the year before that, when he was coming on and had the All-NBA season, the All-NBA second team and All-Star season, he was number 8 in All-Star voting in the early voting when Knicks fans liked him. So there you go. And then people are bringing up, oh, well, how does it make sense? The All-Star voting is so stupid. Austin Reeves made the list on the West, and Derrick Rose made the list. It doesn't make any sense. You know why? Because they're liked. They have a fan base. They have people that are going to vote for him. Maybe they're voting for Austin Reeves as more of like, novelty kind of joke situation. I don't know what's going on out West over there with that, but it's a popularity contest, and Randle is not popular. It's just point blank, period. That's it.
I love part of it too, because people will say, well, the Nets have no fans. The Nets have no fans. There's nothing like the Knicks have fans. But at the same time, then shouldn't it be littered with Knick players? Like, where are they? Like, I don't
Mitchell
know.
Robinson? Where's he?
I personally, I'll say this. I personally don't vote for All-Stars. Like, I loved it as a kid, and I liked like when you had like a physical ballot, first of all, and oh my God, for somebody that had to count those votes, what a colossal waste of money and time. I get it. Wow, that's crazy.
Paper.
No,
yeah.
I mean, I get like the hanging Chad for All-Star votes, and I shouldn't say that. I've been to 2 All-Star games. I had the fucking time of my life. I'm being a little sarcastic, but like for me, I don't vote for All-Stars. Like, I don't know. I think it's something that's for kids. I don't get into it. I like to see it, but I'm not going to go out of my way to vote. I'm just not going to do it. So I don't have a problem if you do it. It's just not for me. But I just find it fascinating, for as passionate and as strong and as intelligent as Knicks fans claim to be and say they come out in droves and numbers. And I hear about when you win, you're awakening the sleeping giant. It's like, well, where are you? Where are you? Where are your votes?
Sleeping,
right? Or yeah, I guess just validating when you see the Nets on there, Durant and Irving, and having sizable leads. It's validating, because I wouldn't care, and I'm not like gonna be braggadocious about it. But when people are always slamming down your throat, oh, there's only 13 of you. It's like, well, then 13 people went out and voted 600,000 times, right? Come on. Stupid.
Yeah. And Knicks fans are sleeping too, and it's because they're not inspired by this team, no matter how well they've been playing. The ups and downs and lefts and rights and injuries and whatever, and it's just uninspired basketball. And it's not because 2 years ago when they were good and they had the 4 seed year, they were exciting because we hadn't tasted that in so long, and it was just very exciting. And like, wow, Julius Randle might be our guy. It could be one of our pieces, and we never know about RJ Barrett. There was hope. It was a new coach. It was like excitement, and now it's like we're in year 3 of that, and it's just like, ugh. RJ Barrett may have topped off a little bit. I think he could still be really, really good and potential All-Star one day, but it doesn't look like the ceiling is as high as we thought. The Donovan Mitchell situation has definitely left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. Julius Randle still being here has left a bad taste. Tibbs failing to adjust on a daily basis and being stubborn. And now he's playing some of the younger players, but he's still forcing in some guys and rotations, and he doesn't like adjust on the fly. It's just, and you got players on the other teams that are calling him out in the post game. Like why are the Knicks still running that? It's just, it's getting to an absurd level. And I think Knicks fans are just like, all right, what are we, 20-18? And it's just like, 21. All right, whatever. 21-18. Sorry to shortchange them. And it's just like, ugh, all right.
It's weird though. I mean, because you are winning basketball games, you're over 500. But I think the two with the Eastern Conference, and let's be real about the East, especially with the Nets now playing their best basketball in forever. There's 5 teams in the East, and then there's a drop off. There's the 5 with the, put them in any order you want: the Celtics, the Nets, the Sixers, the Cavs, and the Bucks, and then maybe even Miami, who's starting to peak up. I mean, that's depth right there in the East. Is just wild to just think of all of those teams and all of that competition. So then you get that next tier. And I think for a Knicks fan, you probably just feel like getting into that first tier at this point seems almost impossible because the jump from tier 1 to tier 2 is that traumatic. I think that would be, as a Knicks fan, even though you're winning basketball games, you're going to finish with 40 to 44 wins. You're going to finish at either 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10, somewhere in that pocket. It's probably just at that point frustrating because, unless, don't get me wrong. I say this here, like, to me, I think the Knicks are going to get to the first round and lose. Okay. That's my prediction that in the playoffs.
It's fair.
They're going to, whatever that is. Don't get me wrong. This is they're playing the Nets and, it's the first round of the playoffs. You're not going to, me.
It'll be nerve wracking.
It'll be nerve wracking, but that's what the Knicks are. There's a cap to it. But then I ask you, and I'll kind of throw it back on this sense, like when the Nets were the 6th seed, and even though I knew they weren't going to beat the Sixers in the first round, but it was fun. I still felt this like feeling of something bigger was about to happen, and it did with Durant and Irving. Why don't you then have that excitement if the Knicks are kind of in a similar kind of position?
Because your culture Nets that we're talking about from 3 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago now, right? And the culture Nets, that was exciting because they were ascending. They were like, wow, and you guys came from nothing,
But you are ascending. You were terrible last year.
Well, let me finish. You'll see where I'm going with this. And then like 2 years ago, they were ascending, and you felt the excitement, and then they made some moves that didn't work with Fournier, with Kemba. Gave Kemba 2 years for some reason, who knows? And then you're forcing Alec Burks down our throat. And last year was just a big mess, right? With Julius Randle and everything. And now it's like you had the chance to get the stars, get the star when you can get the star. I tried to tell you. And Donovan Mitchell, and you don't get him. You don't pull the plug. You pull the plug, pull the trigger. You pulled the plug, and by playing games all summer long with them, and the Jazz got fed up and went somewhere else. And it was just, it is crazy to me. Because fans don't see that. And the point of my story is that the reason why Knicks fans are not into it as much this year is because we're kind of like, we were ascending, went down, and then you could have really patched it back and went to some place where we take a step from 2 years ago, and you didn't. You kept Tibbs, you kept Randall, you didn't get Donovan Mitchell, you got Jalen Brunson, who's been way better than I thought. But other than that, like, what is this team? You have Jalen Brunson, you have Hartenstein, and they're the same team. So
it's so funny to hear you say that and talk about those emotions, because I think of it on my end and on my front when coming into this season and was just hoping. I had said this. I was like, I just want them to take the regular season seriously. And the beginning of the Nets season was couldn't be any worse. I mean, you could not make it really any worse. And then things have just completely 180, right? Now they're a team that's competing to be the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. They had 12 straight wins, 16-1. Playing great basketball. And I still feel a certain way. Like, you go on this kind of winning streak, and I know in the past it would have been like, just get me to the playoffs. I'm at a point now where I'm enjoying the regular season and want to see them to continue to have growth and don't take shortcuts. Like, I look at the Golden State Warriors, Alex, and they're starting to get a little bit more healthy, and there's still a long way to go. And I look at like what's happening with the Bucks with Middleton. I'm seeing like things that had happened in the past with Nets injuries, guys aren't there. And I'm like, if you don't have the consistency throughout the regular season, I think it's tough to win once you get to the playoffs. And I've like did a total different stance on my beliefs And when Kyrie had the put back dunk in the Barclays
yeah.
Center versus the Spurs, that place went bonkers. And it was the first time I had a taste of like, don't do it, but it's something felt different with the season. And I was like, don't do it, Biseglia, because I'll think back to the Mets. How many of those kind of moments did they have? And then they were dog shit in the playoffs.
So many.
So many of those great plays. But it was just that first taste where I was like, all right, my mind's starting to wander. My mind's starting to go. And I bring all that to say this, because people have asked me this so many times. And I'm so sick of this fucking question. I'm sick of this fucking topic. So damn sick of it. Do you think the Nets can beat the Celtics or Bucks in the playoffs? I don't know. Like, I have to see it. They have to do it. I don't know. Like, do they answer your question? Yes, I do. Do I also think they could lose to them? Yes, of course. So to answer Stephen A. Smith, to answer Jalen Rose, to answer everybody's questions, to keep wanting to know, are they good enough to beat those teams? Of course it's possible. But of course they could lose too. And it's just so frustrating with the same damn question. Like, don't discount the Sixers. Philly's playing great basketball. Don't discount the Cavs. Just so frustrating with that question. It really drives me nuts.
And it's really two questions, because it's can they and will they? Can they? Yes. Will they? No. That's how I feel. You know what I mean? But it's definitely getting there a little more, where it's kind of like, your meter. You want to ask me?
Yeah, you want to do the meter? 0 to 10. 0, like, this thing is done. Time to move on. 10, like, I guess 10 would be lock it up. So you can never get, like, 10 is like 0 zeros on the clock, and we're in Memphis celebrating. Where are you on the 0 to 10 meter? You've gone from
6 to 7, I think.
Yeah, or 7 to 7.5, or 6.5 to 7. Yeah. Where are you on the meter?
For the Nets championship meter, as far as what I feel will happen, I think I'm staying at a 7. You're never as good as your highs and as bad as your lows, and we've seen both right now. And so let's see where they land now. Like, the loss to the Bulls, they weren't going to win them all. You know what I mean? It had to happen at some point, and I was very happy that happened finally.
Were you?
Yes, I was.
Like relief.
Yeah, I didn't want this to be like some kind of historic winning streak, and especially with the Celtics losing and giving up 150 to the Thunder.
Yeah,
I was just like, oh no, here come the Nets. You know what I mean? To, like, take over the East and have a big gap, and then the loss was kind of just relieving. Like, all right, let's come back to reality a little bit. They're still going to win whether they lose, of course, but it was nice to just put a pin in that.
It's nice to hear you say that. It's nice to hear you say. See, to me, that shows growth for the Nets, that they got you a little stressed.
Well, this year, because they've always gotten me stressed. I've always admitted it. No,
but I think they've been so putrid, like that they have. I think there was a little bit of like they like disappeared a little bit on their 10 and 11, 11 and 12. And you're like, they're losing. Nice. But
the drama,
but it's nice to hear that they've become a functioning franchise that has you being more like, damn it, I don't like this team. They're winning some games.
Right. So I'm there. Yeah, man. I mean, that's what happens when it's earlier in the season and they're won, 9 in a row? Did it end at 10, 11? I don't remember.
12.
What did it end at? 12. Okay. Sorry to sort of change you. I just
that's
stopped
a
counting.
lot of games.
After 9, I kind of stopped. I was like, fuck.
Can I go off basketball for a second?
Sure.
Can I tell a story of us that really bothered me from a couple days ago?
Of us?
Yeah. We'll see. Okay. And you could say, Biseglia, edit this out.
Okay, go for it.
It's about a food order.
Yes.
I can tell that story.
If you want. We hung out on New Year's,
So we hung out on New Year's. First of all,
our wives.
I used to be an Uber Eats delivery driver, 100% satisfaction rating, one of the best in the biz. And
so we came over for dinner for New Year's Eve, hung out, spent the night, and then left the next day. Okay, just for the people that don't know, they weren't there.
Yeah, so
maybe they were. I don't know.
Story to it. And you texted me the order for you and your wife. You texted me your order, what y'all wanted, what you guys wanted. I wrote it down. And I put in the order, I called, and then you and I went to the restaurant where our wives hung back with my son was here, my cat, and
my dog. Yeah.
Your dog too. Sorry for that. That's a fair point. And
shout out to Ruby. Yes.
got to the restaurant, picked up the food, drove our way back, taking the food out of the bag. Your food is not in the bag. So, of course, everybody first instincts are, oh, the restaurant forgot the order. Then I look back at my app, where my notes app totally did not write your order down to order it. I felt so bad. Like I then called him back, ordered it, got your food, came back. You came with me, of course. I would not have been able to function on New Year's Eve if I never got that food for you. The whole time I would have just felt terrible about it.
Yeah, and it would have been okay. I would have just been like, just because it's like, whatever, don't worry about it. I would have ate some of my wife's pasta and some salad we shared and been okay, especially with the drinking and all the desserts we ate and stuff, but I appreciate that. And, we were out hunting and gathering and we didn't, gather enough food on the way.
But this is I
know.
pride myself on doing this right.
Yeah, you were legit stressed. I felt bad.
I was so mad. It's like even Durant misses shots, Alex.
Yeah. And your approval rate as an Uber Eats delivery driver was 100%.
Yes.
Right. So
this is terrible. I was ashamed. I was like legit ashamed. I was more ashamed of that than like some dumb Nets comment that like you got me on or something. I was like, I was down.
Yeah, and it was okay. I was like, it's not a big deal, but you were upset.
It was a big deal.
And your wife is even like, the second that you forgot, she's like, oh, no, Mike's not gonna be able to deal with this. She was just like, and I was just like, it's okay. But her saying that made me realize, like, all right, man, we can go if you want.
Right. That was the right move. That was the right move. Yeah. Just being like, let's do it. Yeah. She knew. She's like, yep. He's gonna spiral.
Ride. Yeah.
What a way to end the year. I know you put a poll question out for the Knicks.
I did. I
put you on the spot talking about the pasta and picking up food.
It's okay. We can transition into a Knicks Twitter poll question from @KnicksCentral, my Twitter account on Twitter. Is it possible to be happy about the team's success while also thinking certain players should still be traded and or the coach should be fired? Yes, no, or it depends. So let me read that again because I kind of swallowed my words.
Oh, I got you. But okay.
Is it possible to be happy about the team's success while also thinking certain players still should be traded and or the coach should be fired? Yes, no, or depends.
Yes.
Yes,
61.
68.9% right now. I mean, we still have 3 hours left in the polling, but it seems like it's clinched. 68.9% yes, 10.5% no, and 20.5% depends, and not the diapers. So we have some shout outs. Let's see. Max @Dos Equis 17. I always want to see my team win, but I don't think this is the team that will be making a deep playoff run. Praying I'm wrong. That, along with finally having youth developing, I'd rather them start building off that. I also don't think Tibbs is the guy for that. Nothing against him, though. It's a very, very well thought out answer. Then we have, let's see, Knicks girl @Jaded Knicks fan, but the CKS is an X. I always want wins, but I find it depressing when I think about how long Tibbs is going to be the head coach, especially because of his friendship with the president. It's a great point. Great point. Christopher Byrne @CBurn2. This is the forum to speak your mind. I said depends, but I really should have put yes. Let's see. We have a couple more. Crooked Letter Crook @bad_as AZZ662. No, that is a contradiction. IMO in my opinion. How are you happy about team success, but think that these players you want to trade and the coach is not part of the success? So if the team decides to trade those players and fire the coach and we aren't winning, will you still be happy? I mean, it's a little deeper than that. I think he's missing the point of the question. But thanks for answering. And then last one, we have Nick fan, NICK fan. Get it? Like Nicholas, but Nick fan. Do you get it? And
I do.
At Quiet Knicks fan. Yes, I root for my family, but would trade my mother-in-law for an old Atari 5200.
I didn't think that was going to be the answer.
That was great. That's comment of the week. We should do comment of the week. And I
hope his wife doesn't listen to the show. That would be a problem.
Okay.
Are there quiet Knick fans? Aren't y'all so loud and obnoxious? And there's nothing like playing at the
smartest fans. The smartest.
Oh fans. Man, I've enjoyed this season. It's gotten a lot better. I cannot believe that.
It's crazy. The 180.
Yeah, and they'll dip. They'll dip. They'll
Mm-hmm.
dip. And it's inevitable that the Nets and Knicks will play each other in the first round. It's a really good chance. That was a really good, but it's definitely a possibility.
Right.
You'll see it.
We'll see. We'll see what the Knicks do at the deadline. That'll be interesting. Are they going to go in for more help? Or are they going to go and trade players for picks? Are they going to keep Cam Reddish, locked to the bench? Are they going to?
I think they're going to stay put. I think I think you see what you have.
Because they already have a 4-man rotation, so they're not going to add players for. Yeah,
I saw somebody put in you got to get Kyle Kuzma, and I'm like, well, he's a free agent. Why?
And he's Kyle Kuzma.
That would be like I could see the Nets trying to do something like that, or at least
right.
They're over the top piece, but I don't know why the Knicks would,
yeah,
they're going to pay
7th
him.
in votes. Kyle Kuzma, by the way,
had a good year
in the front court.
He's a solid player. He's just want to make one more point about Ben Simmons. I think it's kind of interesting. To me, he's. I saw. Oh man, I can't remember. I think Eric Slater said this on Twitter. And it was a really good point about Ben. He's played all-world defense. He's played incredible at pushing the pace, great passing, all of that. But his lack of efficiency scoring the basketball and being a little timid has definitely been covered up by how good KD and Kyrie have played. And I thought that was kind of just perfect about how Ben Simmons has played so far. Some of the intangible stuff has been through the roof, the rebounds, the passes, getting all the Ben Simmons stuff. But he's definitely not there yet on the other parts on the offense, and he's gotten away with it. But I guess maybe you could also on the other side say that's the point of this Nets team is that he can. But I think for the Nets to win a title and just even to make real dent in the playoffs, he's got to be better aggressiveness offensively and get back to the old Ben. Or I don't think they'll do it.
Yeah, and he's got to hit some free throws. I mean, you don't have to be, John Stockton at the line, but you need to be, there's no reason why a player can't be 60-70% from the line.
He wasn't even getting to the line. Like people are like, oh, he hasn't hit a free throw since this. I'm like, I don't think he's taken an attempt, right? Like he went to the line 4 times yesterday. He made the first one, missed the last 3. It's crazy. I'm looking up his game log. You can tell, Alex, as good as Claxton's been, his poor free throw shooting and Ben's inability is going to be a problem in big playoff spots. Oh, it's going to be a major problem.
Because you can't have these guys on the floor.
It's going to be an issue.
Yeah.
Totally.
They're not like Shaq either. So
Shaq made him too. But Shaq made him in big spots. He really did. Or maybe that's just an old wives' tale that's now been kind of told that time after time when it's not even true. But I do feel like Shaq hit big free throws when he needed to.
Yeah. That's what he always said, at least. He always said, well, I make them when I need to, kind of a thing.
He tricked us all. I'll say it now. It's a cliche here on 151.
Yeah. Since Thanksgiving, so the Nets played the Pacers on Thanksgiving and lost, and Ben Simmons went 4 for 5 from the line that night. He went 1, 2, 3, 4 games without attempting a free throw. He had a few games inactive, in between there. And then he went, from December 16th through January 2nd without hitting a free throw. But he only took 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 9 attempts.
That's what I'm saying.
It wasn't like he was just going up there going 0 for 9 every night. And then last night, he went 1 for 4 from the line. So
he has the ability with the first step and size, not to be Giannis or not to be LeBron, but like the third best at that. He's that good, but he just doesn't do it.
41% from the line is unacceptable. It's just unacceptable from a point guard. It's just unacceptable. You can't have that guy on the floor in crunch time in the playoffs.
No, I mean,
going to hack him.
It's going to be a problem. It's going
to run away.
It'll be the ball. That's why everybody's like, oh, then it's going to be Royce O'Neal. That's who's going to be in there. They're not getting there. Everybody's like, oh, they need to sign some big center. It's like, do you think in a big playoff spot at the end of a game, it's going to be DeMarcus Cousins on the floor?
Noah Vonleh. Pick up Noah Vonleh.
Stop it. That's the sign the episode's over. When you're going to tell me Noah Vonleh. All right, this has been Bad Weather Fans, episode 151. Don't forget, everybody, to go on. If you listen on Apple, give a 5-star rating, leave a comment. And, of course, don't forget to subscribe, follow the show. It's greatly appreciated. This bad boy is on YouTube. You can go and subscribe there if you want to watch the Bad Weather Fans. We've got some great interviews archived. Richard Jefferson, Tracy McGrady, Meta World Peace, Ron Artest, same guy. Just wanted to say that. Chris Childs, Kerry Kittles. And of course,
Connor Hughes, Evan Roberts, Gio.
Dolan J. Trump. See,
Yes,
he bitches to me. He'll text me or DM me. Oh, you never mentioned me. And it's like, here it is. Dolan J. Trump. Follow him on Twitter. Whatever whatever he is.
And of course, Leo Valentin. We had him on twice too. So yeah, and
true. That's true.
Two quick things. Can the Mets finish up this Correa stuff?
No, not gonna happen.
Can we finish this up already? I'm getting nervous, man. It's getting to the point where I'm trying to avoid the topic altogether because it's just there's no baseball yet. We're so far away.
It'll happen.
This medical stuff, can we clear this up? Can we either go one way or the other? And because somebody's gonna swoop in and give him is gonna be
we already swooped.
Someone's gonna be the Cavs to us. To our
don't say us. Do not do that ever again to me. Damn it.
Fine. Somebody's gonna be
to your people.
Somebody's gonna be the Cavs to what the Knicks were this summer and swoop in at the last minute.
The Mets.
It's gonna happen. No, I'm not kidding. It's not gonna happen. If it was the Wilpons, it would happen. But that and the Jets suck. Okay, they're a joke. But that's another story for another day. Fire Salah.
Man. Also, just the great news that came in today, because I know of just scary everything that had happened in Buffalo. So it was just great to get some positive news today. And I know it's like baby steps for things to happen. But it's just so when you
Damar
see
Hamlin.
With Damar Hamlin, apologies. Yes, of course, with Damar Hamlin. Just so amazing to see some positive news come in that he's going to be all right. And I think just for everybody feeling good about that, because one of the worst things I think anybody's ever seen, and it was just amazing to hear some good positive news for him, for his family, for his loved ones, for the Bills organization. It was just some positive vibes. Was just wonderful to see.
Yes, it was great. I agree there. I hope he continues to get better and they can move on and he can live his life normally and get back to being a regular everyday person. And it was a freak accident and it was horrible. And thank God he's okay.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
No, beautiful to see things in the positive direction. All right. This has been Bad Weather Fans, episode 151. We'll see everybody next time for episode 152. Where will the Nets be? Where will the Knicks be? That's the beauty of it all, Alex. I'll talk to you later.
All right, Mike. Peace.